readers, welcome back to my channel. Lila Wanders and Reads. Lee here, and welcome to the final entry for Women's History Month. This is not really a book haul, it's more of a themed a theme on something, which we'll get to. So something that's really got a lot of buzz right now is a series called Adolescence on Netflix. I actually started watching this. I don't watch much TV. I started watching it, haven't gotten finished with it, but now I think I might try to finish it out this week sometime. So Adolescence is about a young boy arrested for the murder of a young girl. This is happening in the UK. And I'm going to link to a Deadline article down below where people are spreading misinformation that the creators swapped, that only black boys in the UK commit knife crimes. And they accuse the creators of swapping the race and making it about white boys. And the creators push back and like, no, it is not about race. We're talking about young boys. And it's a lot more complex than that. It's about social media and bullying and the manosphere, which is a word you'll hear again in a minute. So, long before the series came out, I bought these 3 books at different times because they deal with subjects that I want to explore more, that I've been affected by myself in my life, and that many other women have been as well. So, really, on the theme of adolescence, let's start with Men Who Hate Women, From Incels to Pickup Artists, The Truth About Extreme Misogyny and How It Affects Us All by Laura Bates. Laura is also, I believe, we'll find out. She is from the UK. I don't know much about the UK as far as the day-to-day crime or anything like that. I'll leave that up to the news. But let's see what Men Who Hate Women is about. Women's rights activist Laura Bates has been the target of many misogynistic attacks online, from hate-fueled Twitter rants to vivid descriptions of her own rape and even death threats. Sorry, I'm still trying to kick this cold. It's almost gone. At first, the vitriol seemed to be the work of a small handful of individual men. But over time, the volume and consistency of the attacks hinted at something bigger and more ominous. Let me pause here for a second and say, the copyright on this is 2020. I'm not sure when it actually was published. I didn't look it up. And anymore now, it's kind of hard to tell who the bots are and who are real people, but still, Twitter is a cesspool. As Bates followed the thread of online misogyny further into the corners of the internet, the spiral of hateful and toxic rhetoric deepened until she found an unseen, organized movement of thousands of anonymous men wishing violence, and worse, upon women. That terrorism that no one is talking about. Men Who Hate Women examines the rise of secret extremist communities who despise women, as Bates traces the roots of misogyny across a complex spiderweb of groups, extending from men's rights activists to trolls and the incel movement. Drawing parallels to other extremist movements around the world, including white nationalism, Bates shows that what attracts men to the movement, how it grooms and radicalizes boys, how it operates, and what can be done to stop it. Most urgently of all, she follows the pathway this extreme ideology has taken from the darkest corners of the internet to emerge covertly in our mainstream media, our playgrounds, and our government. I am assuming she's talking about the UK government, but make your own assumptions. Going undercover, online and off, Bates provides the first comprehensive look at this under-the-radar phenomenon, including eye-opening interviews with former members of those communities, the academics studying this movement, and the men fighting back. By turns fascinating and horrifying, Men Who Hate Women is a broad, unflinching account of the deep current of loathing towards toward women and anti-feminism that underpins our society and is a must-read for parents, educators, and anyone who believes in equality for women. So that is really relevant toward my point that I was making about adolescence and the complexity of that show and what it's, what the parents are realizing in the show. But this is not necessarily something new. Although this book was published after, this was copyright 2023. This is a book I can't wait to read. It is Unlikable Female Characters by Anna Bogutskaya, The Women Pop Culture Wants You to Hate. Now, before we get into this, I will say that for me, especially, no, it doesn't matter the gender, male or female, I love a flawed main character. I want someone who fucks up and falls down and gets back up again. I find that character more relatable, more endearing. I used to read these detective mystery novels. All the detectives are flawed, and that's what makes them human. But let's see if we can find out a little bit more about unlikable female characters. Female characters. So, okay, let me start with the blurb. How bitches, train wrecks, shrews, and crazy women have taken over pop culture and liberated women from having to be nice. Female characters throughout history have been burdened by the moral trap that is likability. Any woman who dares to reveal her messy side has been treated as a cautionary tale. Today, unlikable female characters are everywhere in film, TV, and wider pop culture. For the first time ever, they are being accepted by audiences and even showered with industry awards. We are finally accepting that women are, gasp, fully fledged human beings. How did we get to this point? Unlikable Female Characters traces the evolution of highly memorable female characters, examining what exactly makes them popular, how audiences have reacted to them, and the ways in which pop culture is finally allowing us to celebrate the complexities of being a woman. Oh, she's a podcast host. Anna Bogutskaya, film producer, film programmer, broadcaster, and host of the podcast The Final Girls, takes us on a journey through popular film, TV, and music, looking at the nuances of womanhood on and off screen to reveal whether pop culture and society is finally ready to embrace complicated women. Maybe not. Oh, that was a bad wink. I love this. I love pop culture. I love TV and movies, even though I don't watch TV that much anymore. So I really look forward to reading this. Just don't know when I'll make the time. But woman-hating or unlikable female characters is not something new. Women have always been pushed back against when they dare to step out of line. And you can read the history of this in Defense of Witches by Mona Chollet. The legacy of the witch hunts and why women are still on trial. Copyright 2018 on this one. Centuries after the infamous witch hunts that swept through Europe and America, witches continue to hold a unique fascination for many. As fairy tale villains, practitioners of pagan religion, as well as feminist icons, witches are both the ultimate victim and the stubborn, elusive rebel. But who were the women who were accused and often killed for witchcraft? Celebrated feminist writer Mona Chollet explores the types of women who are accused of witchcraft and persecuted: the independent woman, the childless woman, and the elderly woman, who for centuries have been censored, repressed, and even killed. Chollet concludes that rather than being a brief moment in history, the harassment and oppression of these women continue. I seem to recall people talking about childless cat ladies in the recent past. Women today are the direct descendants of those who were hunted down and killed for their thoughts and actions, facing the same sort of judgments and stereotypes that women have battled for centuries. with fiery prose and arguments that range from the scholarly to the cultural, in defense of witches, seeks to unite the mythic image of the witch with modern women who live their lives on their own terms. I've got to figure out how to get more nonfiction in my life, because I want to read all of these right now. And I can't, because I've got one nonfiction already in the pipe and another fiction that I just started. Anywho, welcome to April. This month I do not have a theme. It's probably some month or other, but I'm not going to do a theme this month. More themes to follow in future months, I'm sure. Anywho, tomorrow I have my March reading wrap up. Hopefully, I have not recorded it yet. It's Sunday afternoon, like after 2 o'clock, and I've only got 2 videos recorded. It's been a little bit of a busy weekend, so I'm going to try to do it like Monday evening or Tuesday evening and get it published for Wednesday. Anywho, I'd love to hear from you down in the comments as always. If you have any suggestions on really good books to read, I'd appreciate it. Or if you have any thoughts on any of these books, hey, as always, let me know down in the comments. And I do try to answer within 24 hours everybody who comments, if possible. Hopefully next weekend I will not be coughing. Anywho, if you've made it with me, if you stuck with me this long, thank you for sticking with me on my journey, and happy reading.